year-round college sports talk. Every morning with Bill King. This is 24/7 Sports Radio's On Campus on SiriusXM College Sports Nation.
He was like a god walking amongst mere mortals. He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr. And suits so fine they made Sinatra look like a hobo. In other words, Bill King was the balls.
Oh, hail. Yeah.
Hot rock! Red 7, red 7, red 7s! Hot rock! Hot rocks! Hot rock!
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Spank that hiney.
No, well, I don't want to do that.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
All I can tell you is when I get happy, I want to blow stuff up. I want to burn things and turn over cop cars.
Hold on, damn it. I think I almost got to tell me.
Next time, be more careful.
Yeah, we back. The nationwide.
Now, here's your host, Bill King.
Let's get back in here. Hour number 3 on your Tuesday edition. 24/7 Sports Radio's On Campus. Bill King, Mitch Light, Athlon Magazine. And we're going to spend just a couple of minutes on the Penn State story and the release from the family, in essence. Taking care of Joe Pa, and I understand the angle there. Mitch, how you been, bud?
I am doing well. You survived signing day week?
You know what? Usually that day is I don't want to say stressful. There's no stress on me. It's just long. That day flew by. I really, it wasn't even any fatigue. Just went real quick and it was over. I think as days go, probably not all that drama-filled. Everybody remembers Alex Collins and all that, but it really wasn't that.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the past few years, we've had some elite guys not sign on that day.
Right.
And, I mean, locally, we've got a guy, Corn Elder, who's a top 250 running back, right? I mean, he's a top 250 player, I think.
Easily, yeah.
But not too many guys didn't sign nationally, if I, just
Correct.
Off the top of my head.
Correct. No, and certainly not like Terrell Pryor a couple of years ago where he signed, I'm thinking like April 1. Nah, somebody will correct me.
Clowney didn't sign right away, did he?
2 weeks, I
2
think.
weeks.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much, looking back, it was a heavy South Carolina lean, wasn't he?
Correct. I think that's where he was going, but it was I'm pretty sure 2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, right after it. Anyways, so we're going to talk a little Penn State here. Mitch Light with us, and Jeff Rice is checking in, 24/7 sports site, which is Lions247.com. Hey, Jeff, good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, Bill. I'm doing well.
Well, Mitch and I want to ask you to start with, just speak for the campus now. This release, in essence, from the family is if you were to poll people, ask them on the message board what they think. Are they in lockstep with this latest release?
I think the ones who always believed that Joe had done all he could have done and wasn't covering anything up and, was just the victim of a horrible situation, I think they feel like the report validated everything that they thought. They feel like it's a victory. They feel like there's going to be other things that come from it. I feel like the people that still had doubts about what he knew, what he didn't do, what he did, read it and took some great pleasure in the fact that it really discredited the pre-report in a lot of ways, but I'm not sure how swayed they were by the report itself. I think, depending on what you were thinking going in, it seems that the lines have kind of stayed where they are. It hasn't really swayed too many people in one direction other than, like I said, really kind of shining some light and showing a lot of holes in the free report.
Jeff, how much is this just bringing back some bad memories? I think the campus is obviously trying to move on. I know just the general public and the sports public, a lot of us have kind of moved on and focused on what Penn State needs to do from a football program standpoint. But now this report, how much is everyone forced to relive all this stuff?
I think that's a good point, and I think there were a lot of people. There was a story in the Harrisburg Patriot yesterday. They kind of polled students on campus and said, what do you think of this? And And some people said they knew that Sue Paterno was going to be on Katie Couric, and some tuned in, but most just said it just feels like it's rehashing the same old thing. I mean, you're talking about a campus, a school, a community that was really kind of put through the ringer for the last year and a half, and I don't know if some people just are ready, to just keep going. They don't want to. It's not necessarily some like Joe, some don't like Joe, but a lot of people just want to move past this, and I think that I appreciate the Paterno family's desire to, uncover the truth and get as much truth as possible out there. It's just, I think even some fans and some people around just don't even want to be bothered with the truth. They just want to move past this.
Is there any sense or maybe slight hope that this right here could lead to some sort of reprieve when it comes to the NCAA sanctions? I know that obviously the state of Pennsylvania is involved here. You had the admission by the NCAA that they've screwed up the Miami investigation. Are maybe people trying to take the release from Sunday and throw this into the hopper?
I think there's a chance. There is a hope. I think hope is the good word, because basically you look at the NCAA sanctions and the entire foundation for that investigation by the NCAA, the entire foundation of the decision they made was the free report. And now you've got a report by the Paternos that, as I said, shines a lot of light on that report, shows that a lot of the conclusions were either just opinions or unsubstantiated facts. And basically it's going to be interesting to see how now that the foundation of those sanctions has been eroded, whether the sanctions themselves can come down. I think there's some Penn State fans that would like to see that happen, obviously, that think that could happen. I don't know. The NCAA, as you mentioned, has the lawsuit from Pennsylvania to deal with. They've got a lot of problems of their own, but whether this changes, the situation for Penn State as it pertains to the football program and the school, is that all going to come to pass at all? I don't know. Is it going to come to pass by the time the sanctions have run their course? I don't know. There's still a lot of questions out there. But, again, I think there was a sense from Penn State fans that there's still a war to be fought, but this was maybe the first small step in winning one of the battles.
Jeff, Bill and I talked about this last week. I'm sure when the sanctions were handed down, you had your opinion on how long it would handicap the Penn State program, how low would it go and all that. Have you reassessed the program and now that you've seen 1 year of Bill O'Brien, what they did and how well they've recruited?
I think you have to, and I thought that Penn State's program would take a huge hit, and I still think the worst part of the sanctions are out there. There's in a couple of years when they've been 2-3 years with limited scholarships and no bowl game and kind of some of the revenue from ticket prices has been lost. I think it's going to hurt, but at the same time, you've a coach that won 8 out of 10 games last year with what I think was definitely not one of Penn State's most talented teams, top to bottom. You have a recruiting class that I think is number 26 or 27 in the nation, but it's got 3-4 kids who can really be linchpins for the program going forward, including Christian Hackenberg. So you look at what O'Brien did last year with Joe's guys, and it's not like Joe left him without any talent to work with, but you have to wonder what he can do in 2-3 years with his own players who have been in the system for a while, even if it's not quite as many scholarship guys as other coaches have to work with.
I'm with you. I think that this year was certainly unexpected. I thought it was going to be like a 3-9 season. I readily will admit that. But I think that people taking this year and saying, look, we totally exceeded expectations, thus that represents the next couple of years, I think that's probably a mistake.
Yeah, it's kind of a trap to fall into. I think you're right. I mean, the Big Ten is not real strong, but when you look at Ohio State and you look at Michigan, not just the talent that they had, but the talent they brought in with this class, the recruiting momentum that they have. You look at schools like Wisconsin and Michigan State, who are kind of right there with Penn State in talent already, before the sanctions start to kick in. It's going to be tough. And just not playing in the postseason, I think is going to take effect after a while. The kids that sign now, they redshirt, they could play in 2 bowls, but I think it's going to send, the biggest thing is it's going to send Penn State back out of the spotlight in December and January, which is tough for the program, not only in terms of national prestige, but it's going to hurt your recruiting.
Hey, Jeff, good stuff, my friend. Thanks for the help here.
You're welcome, Bill. Take care.
Jeff Rice, Lions247.com.